Hello everyone, welcome! Today I will be playing something called Salvus Aries. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly, but it's a game about where you play as a Villainness that's about to die on a chopping block and then you become a reaper eventually. I don't know, that's as far as I read in the summary. So yeah, I'm excited to play. Let's just get started. Character name as always. Okay. I don't know how to disable the... Hi, welcome! I don't know how to disable the mouse, so I'm afraid it's gonna stay there. It was the day of my execution. The footsteps down the hallway came closer, towards my cell. I had already been given my final meal, so this could only mean one thing. That time has come already. Public executions were rare. Though the gruesome affairs had once entertained the masses in the past, no longer were they welcomed. Or so I thought. Perhaps I was a special exception. Since I was a woman that was particularly loathsome, especially despicable. At least, that is what I've led everyone to believe, unintentionally or otherwise. I had been the target of much hatred even before I laid claim to the ruthless deeds that had left this town torn apart. To be fair, they saw me as the culprit, and all of this was deserved. I can't say my hands were entirely clean either. Even if I did not turn myself in, though, the results mayhaps would have been the same. At least, this way, I could... Miss Vere? The guard greeted me grimly. One of the few people that still treated me respectfully. My one friend here. I thought he would pretend to not know me, but he was the one to ask what I wished for my last meal. We had often bantered with each other in town, or what this town was before.
It's the perfect day for a beheading, don't you think?
Miss, I hope the trash they would throw at me wouldn't smell too bad.
Miss Ina, it's time to go.
His countenance was supposed to be smooth, but pity and resignation were etched in the way his eyebrows furrowed and mouth sagged. He was young, only 17. Why did they give such a task to someone so young? Disgust, hatred, happiness. For those who did like me, their eyebrows did not crease, as if expecting this very outcome. The few who did not despise me hated the path I walked on. And those who did were full of glee, the ones that were still alive anyway. I've seen those eyes countless times in the past year, as they warned me to keep my head down and keep quiet. Countless warnings I did not heed. Just look straight ahead, miss.
You're a little too young for this, aren't you?
You're not much older.
What do you mean? I got a whole 4 years on you. I'm an adult.
While I tried to lighten the mood, despite the very morbid end that was awaiting me, the crowd's whispers turned into jeers. Filthy bitch?
You've brought nothing but doom to this town!
Interesting how they're not voicing that one, but in this one. I was pelted by what smelled like rotten food. Despite the urge to heave, I maintained my countenance to remain the calmest it could ever be. I wanted to keep my dignity to the end, whatever was left of it. There wasn't much food to throw, since we had to cut the supply routes.
Ouch!
So they threw rocks instead.
Hey, one scratch gets on us and you'll be in the jail next.
Do you pronounce that as jail? Huh. I always pronounce it as gal. Okay, jail. Next, huh? I smiled, and I could see him wince.
Sorry.
Oh. He whispered to me in a hush.
It's all right. You're not wrong.
She sounds like Barbie, doesn't she? You were really defending a traitor like her?
I'm next to her, you idiot!
This was necessary, I told myself. It was what I signed up for. It was for the sake of the nation. It would eventually pay off, even if I would not be around to witness it. No matter how calm I tried to be, though, I could not control the lurching in my stomach. I knew this would come, but I was terrified to the core. Death was coming, yet I still could not fathom that I would be gone in just a short while. But more than that, I longed for what I would be leaving behind. My family, my favorite bread fresh from the bakery, crispy and fluffy. I could never taste it again. After everything, why is thinking about bread bringing me to tears? My last moments on earth, and my mouth is watering. I asked for one last loaf for my final meal, but the flavor was not what it always had been. I tried to remember the taste I once cherished, but better than the bread was the people that I shared it with. So that's why my heart hurts so. The guard brought me to a sharp halt. I thought my execution would be done in the middle of the town. Despite the burnt, indistinct rubble, I knew exactly where this was. A cruel estate that was the source of all troubles. Of course, they met their demise. He made sure of it, and it was why I'm here. His sins were greater than my own, but if he was the one that forged the path, I was the one who paved it. I laughed as I looked up the burning sky. Someone thought this was the perfect place for me to die. Would my grave be here as well? Or would they even bother burying my body at all? I'm sorry. His voice was barely a whisper. I shook my head. There was nothing he could have done.
Thank you.
For being with me at the end. At least my death wouldn't be a lonely one. Someone covered my head with a sack. A final mercy. I didn't have to look at the blade that would take my life. I hope Felix can have some bread tonight. I pray that it is warm. I hope he will carry on our work and see our dream through.
Please don't miss me too much. And forgive me for doing this.
The blade swung. After that, it was as though I was trying to study a painting to throw it. What a shame. Someone so young and bright. More pity. Why did everyone pity me? I knew what I was getting into. My head hurt. Walk forward. I stepped forward. If I still had a body, I could not see it. I could only trust my footfalls would take me to a destination. Open the door. The light grew brighter.
Is there no way to reconsider?
You forget that this is more in your power than mine. I've done what I could.
I will not back down.
Arguing. Lots of arguing. I think it was about me. I wish someone would tell me what was going on. It's like someone is flipping pages of a book. My own life was but a chapter, like ink on a page long disintegrated. Faces along the way like new characters. A hand reached out to me. Are you sure you wish to do this? There will be a price to pay. I cannot help you. But what did I agree to? This was just a memory, wasn't it? Still, I could barely remember anything. Take the hand. My heart hurts. It hurts.
It hurts! It hurts!
Let me just... Okay. I made it slightly bigger because I think my voice is too loud. It hurts.
Make it stop, please!
I begged to any entity that would listen to me. My heart, no, entire being, throbbed in pain for what felt like an eternity. Then, as sudden as it started, it was over. I was at peace. The loneliness never left me, but it was distant. The searing pain that tore my heart felt like a separate entity, as if it floated next to me. It was a dull ache that didn't consume me, but didn't leave me either. Was this what happened after death? Where am I going? Pretty.
I'm sleepy.
Time was an endless stretch. All the voices that swirled in my head soon faded away. Sometimes the same memories visited me again and again. Each time they grew more distant. And then I finally fell into a dreamless state. I think I slept for a very long time. Wake up. There's some people waiting for you. Come on, follow me.
Who are you?
Come on, Sleeping Beauty. You can ask questions later. My eyes were still entirely bleary, but I regained enough control of my limbs to reach out to her. She took my hand. The warmth of her touch grounded me enough to walk forward and through another door. Did MC just die before the game even started? Technically, the game already started and then she died immediately. Oh, I put it in the title. She dies. Chapter 1. Okay, fine. Before chapter 1 then. My title is wrong. This time, I could feel everything. My feet were firmly planted on the ground. When I stretched out my hands, I could see them. Every finger. I touched my neck to find it was still attached. Huh? A young woman guided me through a long hallway. She bade me to sit down. A few moments later, she handed me a drink. I believe this is coffee. I have mostly drank tea in my life, though. It is sweeter than I remember it, and quite chilly, too. How long has it been since something has passed my lips? Just a few days ago, but it feels like it's been a lifetime. Actually, no, several lifetimes. My head was pounding, so I focused on the drink to steady myself. Where am I, anyway? I heard loud footsteps and a what is that word? Raucous group approached me. Sounds of bickering and a few exasperated sighs reached my ears. I have been in crowds aplenty. This one felt overbearing, more so than the last one I had faced, and they pelted things at me. I haven't heard such noise in a century. Oh, whoa! Hello there. Hello, who are you? And where am I? What's happening?
Consider us your welcoming committee.
He looks like someone who would be a VTuber, doesn't he? He's very pretty. Welcoming committee? For what?
Congratulations, you're dead. Welcome to the afterlife.
Thanks. Well, that was not very welcoming at all.
I'm dead?
You know that! Why was that surprising? My head got chopped off. All my memories after that were particularly fuzzy, but I recall that much. I suppose these things take some time to get used to. I should be grateful that I was on my 2 feet again. Wait, I knew that. Why are you so surprised then? Well, I suppose I didn't know what to expect afterwards. Death is a shocking thing, you know. You've had quite a while to get used to the whole idea. I have? How does one get used to being dead in a few days? Or it could have been longer? This was a pain. I peered around them, hoping to see a door to heaven. Hopefully it was heaven. I know I did some bad things, but they wouldn't put me in hell, right? So, where are we going? The men all looked at each other. Which one of you will do the honors? Ugh, not me. Oh, hello, you're tall, god damn. I am not good with these things. Do they really not have voices? I thought all of them have voices. Yeah, all of them are turned on. Weird. I'm not good with these things. I am not qualified to. Are you not the boss, King? Kane pretended not to hear this. How about we draw straws? If it's such a hassle to tell me where to go, then I'll go find someone else to tell me. Where's the nice woman who gave me the coffee? Lilia? The bespectacled man named Kane snorted. She's the last person you'd want to ask. You'd get a summary that tells you nothing you need to know and get yourself into trouble. Well, even more trouble. Oh no, they're sending me to hell, aren't they? I gulped.
Oh, I'm in trouble? I have to go down there.
The last part came out in a whisper, despite my attempts to keep my voice steady. I looked at the floor, expecting it to swallow me whole. Luckily for you, you escaped that fate. Oh, thank goodness! But there is a price, and a punishment. His grin did not match his ominous tone. Oh. He doesn't seem very nice. Aries, you are frightening her. I believe we should begin with introductions. Look at you, doing a better job than our leader. I am not your leader, Zafin. Wow, all these names are hard. Expect me to butcher them. My bad. Apologies in advance. You're the highest rank. I feel more like a father trying to rein in his troublesome brats. Thanks, Pops. Never knew what it's like to be to have a dad. Anyways.
I am Kame Aster. It is a pleasure to finally meet you.
Finally? He held his hand out for a handshake. This is the proper human formality, correct? Human? Well, I usually curtsy. I quickly took it and mimicked his gesture, although it felt quite awkward as it was a gesture I witnessed mostly among knights. She's from an earlier time period, remember? Ah, yes. What?
Name's Zafan. Up top.
He raised a hand and I waved back at him. Zafan, then? Okay. Don't mess with her already. You just said. Sorry. He interrupted and gave me a smooth wink. Was trying to give you a high five. Didn't mean to confuse you. He ruffled my hair and stood back to pass the baton to the next man.
I am Valafar.
Hello, Valafar. He bowed politely, and I returned the gesture with a curtsy.
Aries.
He made no such movements and only nodded at me. Ouch, cold reception. You feeling shy? Hush. Nice to meet you too.
I am Sair, an angel.
Sair? Okay. As if to prove it, he floated into the air for a few moments. He's pretty. What a show-off. Wow, a real angel! Don't tell me you're believing him so easily. I ignored him. Do you have wings and feathers? He hesitated for a moment before answering. Only on special occasions. They can get in the way. Wow, I want to see. Perhaps some other time. Reapers are cooler and we have powers too. His tone felt rather petulant. Eh? Wait a minute. The human comment from before stuck out. Are you all Reapers? Is it so shocking? You just believe that man is an You just believe that man is an angel. Zaire smiled at me serenely. Yes, well, I mean... I did not have a good answer, so I decided to ignore those statements altogether.
So, if you're Reapers, are you the ones that brought me to the other side?
Correct. Although you have been on the other side for quite a while now. Do you not remember? I don't. Was it Lilia who got me? I just came through the store. She got you from purgatory, but she doesn't do any reaping herself. You can say she's a bit of a complicated case. Oh? A story for another time. Come on, you two. Stay on topic. Do you not remember your stay in purgatory? I was in purgatory? I did not recall this. Or wait, did I? All those voices, the people I saw on my way here. I thought I was hallucinating. Have you recalled? I'm afraid it's mostly a blur. I remember some voices, seeing some people pass by. I remember sitting on a bench, under a tree, long paths. And I think I talked to people sometimes.
Nothing more specific?
No, I'm sorry. For some reason, he seemed agitated. I felt bad about having to disappoint him. What's gotten into you, Zaire? You are usually the picture of serenity. How about we move on to the lounge? He indicated with a jerk of his head at the curious onlookers. Currently, only overtime workers are at the office, so we have this place to ourselves. What a strange area. I walked up to this giant box holding little round objects. What is this? A vending machine? That's where your coffee comes from. You put your phone against the black part, and you select with these buttons, and it will give you your drink. Well, he seems nice. He demonstrated by getting himself a coffee, just like mine. You see? Why does it look like your eyes are going to fall out of your head? Sorcery, of course. It boggled my mind. How could a box know what you wanted? How could it return an object? Perhaps you can think on it another time. Yeah, we were talking about your time in Purg. What do you remember? Well, the last thing I really remember was getting my head chopped off. Orias winced. I remember it really hurt at the time, but it feels like that was so long ago. How long have I been dead for? Well, we must check the records. I'd say 300 years. That long? The guys flinched at the sudden increase in volume. Sorry, no wonder it felt many lifetimes away. I really feel like I've aged. Despite your loss in memory? I nodded. Yes, I know only bits and pieces, but I feel something weighing down my heart. Maybe over time I can remember why I feel this way.
It is peculiar that you remember your human life, yet not your time in the afterlife. Usually it is in reverse.
You're just a weird one. Thanks. Now, that simply livened things up all the more. I suppose it is up to me to explain why you're here, what you must do, and where you shall go. You can't stay awake. Good night. Good night. Thank you for joining, okay? You have served most of your sentence in I suddenly can't say it. In a purg. However, you are to work indefinitely as a reaper until some conditions are satisfied. What are those conditions? I cannot say. Aw, why not? Curiosity killed the cat. And satisfaction brought it back. Aries rolled his eyes and turned away. I laughed to myself. It was banter that I often used to have with my best friend. Of course, Aries did not seem to be as willing a partner. Wait, my best friend, Felix. If 300 years had passed, then that meant he was gone too now. No matter what he did, he was my closest friend. He was my other half. But there was more pressing matters at hand, so I would have to wallow in my sorrows later. I cannot tell you the conditions because I do not know. You are to serve your sentence until the powers above have decided otherwise.
I thought you guys are the powers above.
We're the powers below, except Said, who is technically from above, but he doesn't have much weight either.
'Tis true. The powers above are much higher than I am.
So if we are below, this is hell? No, you were spared from that, remember? Keep up.
And hell doesn't have coffee.
Falafar nodded sagely. What exactly is my sentence for? Have I been that bad? The men all exchanged mirrored expressions with each other. Yes, you took the fall for an evil, evil man, and helped him along the way. I could not deny that. Although he was doing some bad things, I did not find him evil in the slightest. This did not seem to be the time to contest that. And the results were catastrophic, almost world-ending. A calamity beyond all disasters. Yes, thank you. We get the message. Hold on. I thought things would get better if I... Oh, no, miss. Frankly speaking, everything went to shit. You sacrificed yourselves for the crime of that man. In turn, he ravaged the world. What? That was the last thing I could have expected to hear. Angered by your death, he decided to wage war across the country, as well as the neighboring lands. What? What did you expect? He was a wrathful man. You witnessed that before your death as well, right? It was justified. We wanted to change the country. Well, you changed it all right.
I meant for the better, not for the worse. What happened?
You enabled the terrible man. Even before your misguided martyrdom, you encouraged him in his sins. Alright, I understand. This is because I was his partner, right? The powers above decided that enablement of a sinner is also a sin. Especially in this case of your final act. Hundreds and thousands of lives were forfeit. Yours truly had to be involved too. Oh, Zafan too? Dang! Zafan pointed at himself with a grim expression. We can come back to that later. Valafar cut him down before he could begin his tale. Deflated, Zafan pouted, but did not protest. All because of what he did? No, that's not entirely true. Oh? Right, I did enable him. Instead of telling him to rein himself in, I encouraged him. But I thought he knew best, so I never disagreed with him. I just aided him in the pursuit of our goals. I thought if I limited myself to a certain extent, my hand wouldn't be dirty, but if he was the one to administer the poison, then I was the one who brewed it.
And if I could give my life for him to continue on his path, our path, then it would all be okay.
I had gladly done so, in the end. I rubbed my neck, where the axe had fallen. I should have seen it all coming. If it makes you feel better, you weren't the only one punished. There are others who suffered greatly. Doesn't make me feel better at all. That just makes it worse. I'm not some cruel person, or I hope I'm not. At least you aren't to go to hell, so long as you fulfill your work. And what if I don't want to?
Hell is not a fun place. Do you want a taste of it?
That's where that bastard went. Your disgusting friend. His eyes narrowed, and for a moment I could see the flames of hell in his pupils. No, that's okay. So Felix ended up there. All we did was for nothing. His choices after my passing were ultimately his own, but was it my fault? I was the catalyst, wasn't I? Maybe I should go down there after all. As if he could read my thoughts, Kim gently put a hand on my shoulder. Arias? He rebuked the sharp man while giving my shoulder a comforting squeeze. He didn't apologize, making Kim sigh, but he didn't press the matter. Just know that your sentencing is beyond our power. Apologies if you feel wronged, but this is how it is in the afterlife. I wish there was a way I could appeal it. I mean, I've already been in purgatory, right? Correct. Although you didn't have too much to purge, so you've been sleeping for most of your duration there. Eh? What do you mean? Well, thanks to you and your friend turned Tyrant King, there was a lot on everyone's agendas. So you slipped our radar. What's a radar? Think of it as something that has escaped everyone's notice. For now. Man, they really left you sleeping too long. So I was forgotten. Our apologies. There was an awkward moment of silence. I definitely could tell there were things they weren't telling me. But in truth, I needed time to process all of this. I nodded along as though I understood all that they told me, but I felt that it had yet to sink in. You should get some rest. It was as if he had read my mind. Ah yes, while you had quite the slumber, I believe you do need some time to think. We set up a cool room just for you. You knew I'd be coming? We are your welcoming committee after all. Of course we had to do some preparation. And Lilia helped? She said our taste sucks. Oh, well, I'll be sure to thank her. They said she's lazy and troublesome, but the girl's been nice to me so far. Although this coffee is cold, the warmth it gave my heart was something I felt nostalgic for. I held on to it tightly as we exited the office and made for the place that would be my new home. A car? I was terrified out of my mind. We were inside a strange contraption. Think of it as a mini carriage, he had said. Yet there were no horses, and it moved of its own accord. Sorcery. And to make it worse, it moved too quickly. Would you like to hold my hand? Sayer sat to my right, and Zafan to my left. I was sandwiched between them, squished like a child hiding inside a cupboard. Looks like she'll destroy Kane's seats otherwise. Aries was seated in the front, staring out the window. Kane, who was driving this bizarre vehicle, huffed a languished sigh as he spun the wheel.
I would prefer that not happen, if you don't mind.
Or else I may switch cars with one of the others. Certainly you wouldn't dare take mine. You should have gone with Valafar then, or brought your own. I hadn't realized that I had the death grip on the leather seats. My nails had been digging in, and my knuckles had gone white. I held the angel's hand, and while I was still in fear for my life, non-life, he was positively delighted.
You can hold my hand too.
Cute. I took him up on that offer. My strength was divided between holding each hand. Please do not be so anxious. You are a Reaper now. Can't die again that easily, but we can. Interesting. Doesn't mean she can be reckless. Well, yeah, but she doesn't have to be a nervous wreck either. Try looking out the window. I'm sure this will all be new to you. This place is called Stasis. It's got a lot to do, thanks to everything we borrow from the human world. I breathed a glance outside. It was bizarre. Gone were the structures I had grown up with, or the rubble it had become. Instead were looming buildings, bright lights. Cool, isn't it? The purgatory humans helped us design this place. Angels come down here to frolic, so a lot of time is always put into construction. Up where we came from, there is little in entertainment. Though they make the best alcohol. I had so many questions. The purgatory humans? Purgatory is the place where humans purge their sins before they go to heaven. So, am I going to heaven?
You are a special case.
You stirred up so much trouble they didn't know what to do with you.
That's why they left you in there for so long. Anyways, rather than just wandering around in Purg, the ones with skills can just serve their sentences here. Now and then, you get humans that work here before going to heaven. Or even come down from heaven now and then. So I didn't have any skills? That's not the case, but rather you were assessed to be a danger. What? Who am I dangerous to? Yourself and millions of people. Point taken, but I'm not that reckless. Aurea scoffed. And I'm here now, aren't I? Under strict supervision, our heads are on the line. Eh? Really? So don't toe out of line. But she has matured from her stay in purgatory. You may have forgotten your memories, but do you truly feel like the same person? My soul felt heavier. Things were so foggy and I've barely had time to think here. I think I have changed. I just need to figure out how. Hopefully it's for the better. Oi, ease up, will ya? Never seen you with this much of a dick. Don't listen to him. He was in charge of making sure you'd get here safe and sound. Bullshit. You all just wouldn't stop talking about her. How come you all know me? I appreciate the help, but Is there a reason you're looking out for me? Let's just say a series of events have led us to being responsible for you.
So if you mess up, we all die.
Yikes.
Zafan, please. It would be a worthy death.
Say your please. Eh? No, I don't want anyone dying for me. Besides, aren't we already dead? Yet you died for another so easily. Anyway, while humans and things that normally hurt humans can't fatally harm us, other powers can. Keep that in mind. Alright. At last we were free from that nightmarish ride. I was sitting in my brand new room. Although the structures I've seen so far have been unfamiliar, this was close to my old quarters in Felix's home. Was this on purpose? They told me to stay out of the kitchen for now and to just ask them if I need any help, since there would be machinery I did not yet know how to operate. I was given this watch thing to contact them, but how could that possibly work? Sorcery. Just as I started tapping on the surface, something appeared on the screen and the watch began to make noises. After several moments of deliberation, I tapped it. Hey, how are you settling in? Ah! I threw the infernal device and a shadow replaced the sound of his voice. Ah. I shouldn't have done that, I think. Sorcery. The next day. Here, I'll teach you how to use it. While the device was sturdy, the screen itself needed some repairs. The men were shocked at my strength, so Lilia praised me until Kame shooed her out. And so Zafan was here with a case of tools. Probably should have taught you in the first place. It would mean less work on our hands. Yesterday, after I tossed the infernal device away from me as far as I could, it thunked against the wall and fell to the floor with a spectacular shatter.
Foul creation!
I climbed up onto the counter and looked for some sort of a weapon. Luckily, I found a broom to brandish at the cursed item. Not that I knew anything about exorcism. Perhaps I should have joined the convent after all. Before I had any more time to regret my course in life, hurried footsteps echoed outside of my door. Are you okay? Stefan was huffing after opening the door, and the group of guys piled in. Besides him was Valafar, who was sleepily rubbing his eyes. Aries was in tow, and Zaire peered inside curiously. While Kame wasn't very visible, I could still see him rubbing his temple. You could have knocked. We thought something had happened. The angel furrowed his beautiful face as he came up to me, still crouched on the counter. Are you hurt? He put a hand on my head, and his eyes did a once-over of me. What has happened? A voice started coming out of my watch, and I thought it was possessed. It was terrifying. Ah, thanks. That was my voice. Eh?
Is my voice that scary?
He whispered to Orias, who nodded, much to Zafan's dismay. We should have explained how it worked to you. You must have been frightened. I tried to slide off my seat, but Valafar stopped me. We should check for any broken glass. Although you are a Reaper now, injuries will still hurt since you are new to this life. It will take time for your powers and resistance to develop.
Paper cuts will never stop stinging, no matter how many years pass.
Poor baby, do you get them often? He spoke bitterly and glared at the floor as though there was a sheet of paper lurking, threatening to slice him. How unfortunate. While Valafar picked up the watch, Zafan and Orias studied the floor for any debris. They confiscated my broom and then began the lecture. We did not think your first reaction would be to throw the item. I said I was sorry. I told you I thought that the watch was possessed. We have to remember there was no technology from her time. He gave Orias a pointed look. However, the next time you come across a suspicious item, it may not be wise to toss it. There could be an enchantment designed to hurt you. Really? Like what? I thought I would be safe as a Reaper, at least. You'd be mistaken. Remember, there are other powers out there that can harm you. I nodded. There are rogue Reapers out there, bad spirits from the human world, and actual demons that so far has escaped our grasp. The longer one lives, the more powerful they grow, so there are many out there who can hurt you. But how come they go rogue? Pursuit of power or a different life? I could see why. We all stared at him. Not that I have any plans to go rogue. Jeez. Then you should watch your words, especially where we are. Are there any bad angels? Sayre shook his head.
Angels cannot have ill intent, so it is not possible for them to stray.
Cool. Furthermore, all actions angels do are recorded automatically and sent to a record keeper. So if we date him, everything we do with him will be noted. How can they not have any ill intent? It's just how it is. Reapers are built a certain way, angels are built in a certain way. Reapers are unattached. Their end goals are to become humans, be promoted to higher work, and possibly become angels. Although I've rarely heard it actually happens. Because of this, it is rare to see Reapers in relationships or even have more than a couple friends at most. A group like ours is an anomaly. They, of course, can have casual relations if they so choose, but most find no need to tie themselves down to this life. Angels get to deal with the nice parts of life. All we see is death, so you can imagine why they want a promotion. Or to settle down as a human once they fulfill certain conditions. Of course, that is not appealing to everyone. And you do have those that have come into this life after once being human, whether it be by choice. An exceptional event, I assure you. Or those that must work off their karmic debt. It's a lot to take in. Sayre patted me fondly on the head.
You will learn.
Orias bristled. You are quite friendly to her. Why? Yeah, you're not that nice to us at all. Could it be? I didn't think he had it in him. Sayre gave him a look. He certainly can be heartless for an angel. Even you, Valafar? Stop teasing him. I'm sure it's because I'm new. I defended him more for my stake than his, if I were to be honest. Alright, we'll back off for now. Need to get to business as is. Let me teach you the basics of using this. Try not to throw it again. Sorry, I thought a demon was in there. You're afraid of demons? Well, who isn't? Aries pointed at himself, and then to Cain. Do you not notice that we have demon-like qualities? I don't see Aries having any demon-like qualities. Why? Where? Are you demons? I thought you were reapers. Not mutually exclusive concepts. There are good demons and bad ones. Take some perceptions of the Grim Reaper across different places. Those that can perceive the supernatural have some foundation for our appearances. Of course, we don't know if they truly see us, or if we just look like the scary pictures they conjure of us. I see. They've always been terrifying, the paintings I've seen. Scary things aside, let's get to work. After many hours of patience from Zafan, with Valafar and even Lilia occasionally dropping by to help, I think I have finally understood this device. While it is a watch, they say it is like a smartphone that is capable of doing many other things I need for my Reaper work. I still could not say that I have grasped everything, but I believe I could work this. Alright, test time. Never mind. Wait, I don't think I'm ready. Go ahead and send a text to someone. Okay, I'm gonna save. Apparently there's like at least 4 chapters here, so I might have to break off the stream into 2. We'll see. Let's just start from Zafan. Oh, you're texting me? So, what's up? The ceiling? We have much to teach you. What is that? That's an emote. They're little pictures to show how you are feeling. How do I send one? Tap the happy sign, and then there's gonna be a picture. Oh, cute. What a cute choice. Fitting. Oh, how come? Because I'm cute? Because you're cute. Well, I think you're doing just fine. You passed the first test. A+. Save. And then load. Let's do everyone. Okay. Hi. Oh, hello. Not too frightened anymore, I gather. Haha, very funny. I'm a quick learner. Indeed, your typing skill is very impressive. It is, isn't it? Certainly. Perhaps we can find a position for you in the administrative work one day. I don't like the sound of that. I wouldn't do that to you. Or would I? Why am I getting the feeling that you can be mean sometimes? A false assumption, I assure you. Your texts come so fast. You're still learning. You should see the scratch mark on Aries when he first started. How cute! Scratch marks? It was quite rough, but I do believe you were doing well. Keep up the good work. Great. Now let's load again. Ito. Valafar. Hello? My, it appears you've been learning well. It's a little intimidating, but I'm doing my best. I believe in you, Vere. It will be a nice addition to have you in our group. It is a bit difficult. My fingers press the wrong button sometimes. It still happens to me now and then. Are you sure you're not just saying that to make me feel better? Goodness, do I really seem like the type to lie? No, of course not. I'm sorry. I only tease. Keep up the fine work. Let's save. I load. Aries. Hi. What are you confused about? Why are you texting me? Why not? Zafan told me to pass my text. I have to text someone. And I was your choice because I just felt like it. Why do you seem unhappy? I'm busy. Not too busy to reply to be a grouch, clearly. Okay, well, task passed. Flying colors. Now I need to get on with my day. I like annoying him. Maybe I'll go for him. Say, hello? Well, how wonderful it is to receive a message from you. My, you are learning quite quickly. You really think so? Yes, I am quite proud. Send happy emoji. I feel like he'd like that. Oh, that's it? That's shit! Okay, let's try again because that was shit. Come on. I know I can make you prouder. I'm unstoppable. Oh. Well, fuck me too then. Okay, let's just do... Who do I want to do? I guess let's just start from Zafon. Let's go from the top. What about this one? That's quite a devious expression there. What are you planning? Wouldn't you like to know? Well, I think you're doing just fine. Calling? We were moving too fast. Call Zafon.
Huh? You're calling me too?
Oh shit, it's double. Okay. So I have to text them and then call them. Got it. Because I know you'll pick up. Glad you picked me for your test. You'll go easy on me, right?
We'll see about that. But wouldn't it be fun talking to someone you can't see?
But it's fun talking to you.
Is that so? Well, that makes me happy to hear. Can't argue with that.
Oh, you are right. I usually am. So, did I pass? You scored 100%, and now you can graduate to the next level. There's more levels?
There's always more levels, my adorable pupil.
Look at you, passed with flying colors. He ruffled my hair with a proud look in his eyes. Thanks, teacher. Of course, my star pupil. Alrighty. Clapped his hands together. Okay, so there is no more levels. He lied to me. Okay, so I couldn't be bothered, honestly, to just reload everything from the texting, so I'm just gonna call them one by one.
Oh, is this the second part of your homework? Honored you chose me. So, what do you think of my voice? Is it demon-like for you?
You're still making fun of me.
Certainly not. It is an honest question.
I think it's pleasant to listen to.
Pleasant, I'll be sure to talk to you often then.
You better. Oh, alright. And what do you think about my voice?
I think I'd like to hear more of it.
Okay. Ato. Salvus?
Is this the next part of your test?
Yes, I think I'm getting rather proficient at this calling thing.
Ah. Well, you are doing excellently. I am assuming that your phone is still in one piece?
I've learned to not throw things anymore.
My, you're learning quickly. I'm proud of you.
They're all so nice.
However, if the urge ever does strike you to throw your phone once more, please aim it towards Aries.
I plan to. Oh, do you have a grudge against him?
Not at all. You are simply the only one who could get away with it.
I'm not entirely sure about that. He may retaliate.
I shall offer you my protection.
Then I will aim as best as I can.
Excellent.
Okay. I'll save Aries for later so I can bully him. Stay here.
Why, hello there. I hope your first day on the job has been fun.
Well, I think I'm learning a lot.
If anything frightens you again, you can be sure to count on me.
Yeah, I'll try to not keep throwing things.
That's the spirit. But if you ever do
Ooh,
feel the
sounds
urge,
fun.
I can arrange for you some throwing materials.
I'll take you up on that offer one day.
I'll be ready. Perhaps I should start making arrangements.
Sounds fun. Too soon, say it.
But if you'd like something a little less exhilarating, I can think of plenty of ways for us to spend time together.
I'd like that a lot, say it. Okay, let's I wanna annoy Aries fully. Okay, then
What now?
that isn't a very proper greeting. I'm doing my test for the font
And what is it for?
to see if I can call people.
You succeeded. Well done.
I don't think you meant it.
I did mean it. Is that all? I need to get back to work.
No, I wanna bother you more. Aww. Okay, let's just go back to the font. How about we go get some lunch, then Val can give you a tour of the place. Since you'll be working with us closely, best get to know each of us better. If you want, of course. I do! Glad you're taking this all well so far. Looking forward to working with you, Miss Vere. Just very. He shook my hand with a playful show of pomp and circumstance. What is that? Will everyone like me? Of course they will. I already do. I did not think you were the type to be a flirt, Zafan. Zafan yelped, completely taken unaware by a voice from behind. Perfect timing, Valafar. Where did you come from? The job this morning was a quick one. Come, let us start. He's so tall, he clips right through. Over there you have the training hall. Ooh, what's in there? A lot of training dummies. Typically, the goal is to take out as many of them as possible in a short amount of time. Or you have a target and you have to take them out as quickly as possible without accidentally killing one of the innocents. Does our line of work involve a lot of combat? Depends. There's always the chance to encounter unfriendly spirits. I remember hearing of those before, but I didn't think it would be something I would actually have to deal with.
I have to fight ghosts?
Yes. I looked at him in horror. You jest, surely! Madame, I assure you I do not. While his face was relatively smooth, I could definitely see him biting back a smile. Was my dilemma a source of amusement to him? How cruel. That is why you must learn to protect yourself from them. I know some combat. My best friend had taught me since we were younger.
Didn't do such a good job, did he? You're here dead, aren't you?
Fuck you, Aries. That was my own decision. Only because you didn't know how to fight enough to run away, right? Oria's enough. You talk a lot for someone in second place. Ouch. Second place in one. You see, we keep a tally of the scores from the training hall. I am not in second place. I am nearly tied with Kay. Indeed, and since you are tied for the first, neither of you are the winner. So does that not naturally make you second place? I don't think the choices matter yet, because it's still the demo. I agree with Valafar, fuck you! Oh, then let's see what you got. Still beat you, Valafar, haven't I? So you have. Since you're so proficient, how about you show Miss Vera here the ropes later? Please just call me Vera. Very well then. Me? Isn't the tour your job? Are you trying to shirk your duties off to me? For shame. I am not you, Aries. I am the tour guide. You can handle her training. For someone who made sure her arrival would be perfect, you enjoy pretending other... Aries glared with such intensity, even I had to look away. You did? None of your business. He briskly walked away. Aries? Fine, later. And then he went out of sight. Very well. But as to what I was saying before, you will meet ill spirits, yes, but it should not be too often. You are not to harm humans, but if you are on an assignment as a fixer, the occasion may arise. There are also the Rogue Reapers, or Rogues for short. You may need to protect yourself against them, or conduct arrests if required. Wow, I have a lot of responsibilities, don't I? And you shall carry them out wonderfully. I forgot to explain about the office. Post-reaping reports are filed here. Reports? Do I have to write them too? No, we have a separate staff to review the actual reapings. Reapings are recorded automatically. Typically, the recordings are studied only if there is an anomaly. Recorded automatically? Yes, into our Hall of Memories. That sounds fancy.
Which is not a stop on your tour.
From out of nowhere, Kane popped in and regarded Valafar with a stern countenance.
Must each one of you interrupt me?
In return, he greeted Kane with a withering sigh. Pardon my rudeness, but yes, I believe that is a lesson for another time. Now I'm more curious. He chuckled, his eyes crinkling with his laugh. Hold on to that curiosity. I assure you, you will be going somewhere much better in a bit. Far more magical. Ah, the gate? Precisely. How about we take her to the human world? She should see what it is like in the present day. Goodness, do you mean right now? Why not?
Oh, are you going to the human world? I shall come along.
I was not informed that this would be part of the tour. He was rubbing his temple now, much like a school teacher who had lost control of his students. But it'll be fun anyway, right? I can't wait to see how much the human world has changed. Perhaps I could stand to wait longer. I was still not used to the sensation of riding, what was it called? An elevator. My stomach churned as we seemed to descend for ages. What if I can't handle it? Are you excited to go into the human world? Perhaps he could sense that I was rattled and spoke in a soothing tone. Say it, do you not have any work to attend to? No angelic business of the sort? You must not have a lot of work to come along with us. Orias had seen us all going to the elevator in the hallway and tagged along without being asked.
I wonder. Perhaps this is part of my business.
And you're joining us too.
Because, like it or not, you're my business too.
Mm-hmm. Orias rolled his eyes, but said nothing after that. There's only one thing on this floor, this gate here. It was a short walk from the elevator. While the rest of the building was styled differently, age showed in this hallway. How come this place is rather dilapidated? Strange, is it not? We live in the city of stasis. Our weather changes, and we have day and night cycles. Yet it is all artificial. I suppose it is to give a semblance of routine, change. So, consider this hallway to be the sole representation of change. While time does not pass here, centuries have passed beyond this door. The 6 of us gathered in front of the gate. Centuries have passed. Yes, however we can access any point of time in the past, we do so regularly. That's interesting. Why is that? There are more humans than Reapers. Therefore, there are many more dead souls than Reapers. Meaning you are understaffed? Precisely. Different Reapers are assigned to different points of time and geographic locations. We are mostly caught up, but there are stragglers. Occasionally there is some trouble that occurs that are outside the records of history that we must correct. Would it not be better to go in order to collect souls? You would think so, but the powers above say otherwise. We would be centuries behind in our own development, unfortunately. Humans have their follies, but what benefits them also benefits us. We can study patterns in technology, society, and all else, and apply it to our city of stasis. Or learn where we must revise and interfere in history, and how to do so. That falls to fixers like Zephon and Sayer. That was a lot of information, and I had a lot of questions. Are their souls not waiting for a long time? Yes and no. The second we go to retrieve them, it is right after their death. Even if they have waited until now, our retrieval changes the time they've actually waited for eventually.
I see. It seems lonely, waiting for centuries.
But then, I suppose they haven't waited in the end? Exactly. The problem is that sometimes before we get to them, they can become troublesome spirits. If wayward, they cause mayhem, or worse, turn evil. It's a broken system. And we have our naysayers, of course. Aries hung to the back, and Zephon and Sayer each held my hand as Kame approached the gate. Best to show you this part in practice. Remember 2 things. Do not harm any of the humans, and do not interfere in their affairs. I nodded, like a good student. Forgive me for taking over, Valavar. It is quite all right. It was not as though I had prepared for this part of the lesson in advance. Poor Valavar. While he smiled, his tone indicated that he was quite put out. Anyway, he held up a pocket watch with the blue cover. Nouveau City, by the Roseview Shopping Center, present day. The door opened and the entryway glowed white. Follow me. Yes, sir. I was speaking to Villainness. Rude? Without sparing a second glance, Kame stepped forward. Would you like to go next? I looked at the doorway that swallowed Kame. Although it wasn't entirely different from the doors I passed through in my dream, there was a nervous pit inside my stomach. It's nothing to be afraid of. Here, I'll show you. Surprisingly, Aureus spoke up, and in a moment he was gone as well. Aw, see? He does care. He would have your hide if he heard that. Shall I take my leave next? Let's all go together. The man nodded at me, and with my hands still clasped in between theirs, we walked forward. The cold breeze tickled my face, and my clothes rustled. I feared the sensation would be unpleasant, but it was no different than stepping outside. Here we are. My escorts let go of my hand and gestured towards the sky. What do you think? This place was not unlike stasis. Strange buildings were all around, although they seemed more plain than the ones I've seen back home. Not that I have been in the non-human world for long. In fact, it was strange to think of myself as different from the humans. It is unfamiliar. Then I do believe it is time to familiarize yourself. Shopping? How about we get some bubble tea? I love bubble tea. I can sense your true motives in coming along. They continued to rattle off suggestions as we went around. The people around us were nothing like the ones I've lived amongst. Their clothes were of far less substance, but also far more colorful. Everything was so cool. It was a little overwhelming. There were so many shops with things I've never seen before, and scents from all directions. As the others continued ahead, I found myself hanging back to take in the scenery. Hey miss, you like adventure? Wait, what? Wait, why is the log like this? Huh? She just said huh. Have I the offer for you? It won't take too long, and you'll get a free trip out of it. He held out a leaflet of paper with some pictures on it. Oh, it did look pretty. Well, I suppose that's nice, isn't it? Come this way. These dumbass men. So you see, Vere, I think you would quite like these bubble waffles. Vere?
Hey,
Where did she
go? What do you mean, where did she go?
Dumbass man. There's so many of you, you can't even keep me on track. I thought you had an eye on her. How could you lose her? What? I thought she was with you?
Why would she be with me? God, you're so irresponsible!
The bickering escalating in volume began to draw attention towards the group.
You two, settle down.
Just use the GPS on her phone.
You activated it, right? Zafan?
Of course. What do you take me for? Despite his confident words, he was sweating bullets as he checked the software on his phone. Ah shit. What do you mean, ah shit? Zafan? You didn't? Zafan felt himself having palpitations that were strong enough to knock out any human.
Now, Aries, thou shalt not commit violence against thy fellow man.
You shouted, Angel. Wait, I can just call her. Hold your horses. Hurry. Before he burst the vessel? Zafan regarded the others with an indignant stare, though all of their faces held a tinge of worry. I hope she picks up. That's what she has a phone for, doesn't she? We can find her regardless, Aureus. Do not fret so. Shh! She picked up. They all huddled in closer. It was a peculiar sight. 5 handsome men all huddled together in the middle of the street over one phone. A few passerby wondered if there was some sort of host club nearby, but their demeanor suggested that they wouldn't be taking any customers. Hello? Oh good, she didn't throw it this time. This isn't my first time using it. Excuse me, miss? Who are you talking to? Where are you? Is that your husband? Perfect. Tell him we have a deal for him too. I'll give you the address so he can come join our little party. They all stared intensely at his phone. Zafon's phone pinged a few moments later. Check it.
I am. God, your bannies are in such a twist.
Not the time, Zafon. Zafon growled under his breath and then input the address into an app. Oh, thank God. Okay, she's in some weird little build. Aries grabbed Zafon's phone without waiting for him to finish and started to run. Aw, Aries. What the fuck? Bro? Hello? As Zafon protested, the other men had already zoomed right behind Aries. You better give that back, you little... And Zafon too joined the pursuit. Can I go now? I had been led into this rather dodgy looking place. The people did not seem like they wanted to harm me, but they were annoyingly persistent. But you won't be able to get your free cruise if you leave. I had no idea what they were talking about. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. You'll really be helping us out, miss. I got a sick daughter at home, and she'll be able to eat for a week. I do like to help people, I guess. And we want to help you too, so, you see, we're offering 2-bedroom condos, and... I raised my hand. Sorry to interrupt, but I have a question. Certainly, miss. What is a cruise? And what is a condo? You're pulling our leg, ain't ya? His countenance slid from cheerful to displeased rather quickly. No? I was being genuine. What was so wrong? If you've just been wasting our time, why would you watch our presentation about timeshares if you are unwilling to buy?
I can't buy anything if I don't have any money. You promised a free trip. I think you're the one that's wasting my time.
The group sitting around him stood up and approached me. They loomed in closer and I swallowed. I was in danger. It's okay, I can take them on. Felix taught me how to take on groups like these ones easy. However, I just realized that I had not been given any weapons yet. Damn it. Wait, I could just run! Before I could make a break for it, a loud thud interrupted my plans of escape. Get your hands off our girl! Well, in fact, there were no hands on me, but it did not matter. Aries had landed an impressive kick on the man before me. Oof! Hey, what's the big idea? Shame on you, preying on naive women for your scams. I thought we weren't supposed to harm humans. This is an exception. Kidnapping is a very serious crime after all. That said, how could you let yourself get kidnapped? Well, they asked if I wanted adventure and offered a free trip. And you said yes? How did you fall behind so easily? Sorry. Do you forget about us? What do you take us for? Shut up. He kicked the man back down. Let us get out of here and then continue this conversation. Bastards! Don't think you can get away with this so easily. Try it and I'll kill you. Or at the very least, get the authorities to put an end to your little operation. This is perfectly legal.
I know how to get a harassment charge on you. Very easily.
Broke bastards. Kame rolled his eyes and flashed something at the man. It was some sort of black rectangle, but it caused the gang to become flustered. How strange. The entire path outside, Aries had dragged me along by the wrist, albeit with a gentle hold. What were you thinking, following strangers? This is not what... He stopped himself abruptly and drew my curiosity. I tilted my head, prompting him to finish his sentence. What? That's not what a sensible person does. It was hard to shake them off. They were so insistent. And you said not to harm. Alright, let us clarify some things. If anyone bothers you, shake them off. Stick to us for us, though. You'll be doing jobs on your own one day. However, you are still a fish out of water. Now, Aries, calm down. Let us enjoy some crepes and return. Crepes? Is that how you say it in English? And return. You're thinking of food at a time like this? I think this is the perfect time. She isn't harmed, is she not?
You are, right? Otherwise I will return to bestow punishment.
I'm fine. Although I am somewhat confused. I still have no idea what was happening. Zafan will brief you on the details while we go to a particularly delicious crepe.
So I see. Your true motive for this outing.
Food! Zafan explained the concepts of these timeshares and what they entail. I didn't understand quite clearly, but he told me to not get deceived like that again. In my defense, I had found myself caught up in the moment. After all, this was a whole new world to me. What flavor are you going to get, Vire? Oh, there's so many options. I think you'd like this one. He pointed to a picture of a crepe that had strawberries and chocolate. Personally, I prefer cookies and cream. What childish taste. And what will you be having, Aries? Chocolate hazelnut? Nutella then? We each put in our orders and waited one by one to receive our selections. Free crepe, would you like to try some of mine? And you can try mine too. It is matcha flavored. I took a nibble of Sayri's crepe. It wasn't too sweet. What's matcha? It's made of green tea leaves. They make tea flavored things now? Amazing. Here, try some of mine too. Sayri flushed and took a small bite from mine in return. Cute blush. Delicious. Oh, not fair. I want to share too. Oreos scoffed as Zafan and I exchanged flavors. You're just jealous, Oreos. I doubt it. He seems to not like me very much. Oh? Ah, I voiced that out loud. That isn't true at all. He was the most worried about you.
He almost tore off Zafan's hand.
And broke my phone. He just doesn't show it to you. I will kill all of you if you don't shut up. I'm going for his route for sure. And who said I don't like you, Vire?
I'm just not simpering over you like those other thirsty bastards.
I'm going for him, for sure. Now that is uncalled for. We're simply being polite and caring. Who was the one that got on our asses over how her place should look? It should be comfortable. What are you idiots thinking? Oreos scruffed him. Shut it, or the crepe gets in. Fine, meanie. Zafan pouted and retreated to a safe location to finish his snack. After getting crepes, we went shopping. Kane pulled out that cart from before often, and I finally asked what it was and how we were able to get so many things with it. That, my dear, is called a credit card. You can use it to purchase things. It is like magic. Wow, can we use magic to purchase things? Sorcery. Not magic, but rather the power of good investment and supernatural powers. Sorcery? Indeed it is. Typically, we rely on King to make financial purchases in the modern world due to how his little magic works. Of course, though, cash is timeless if you know the inflation rate and the dates on your notes. I once gave a shopkeeper in the early 1900s a heart attack. I forgot how far a single note went back then. Can currency change so much? Inflation is its own beast, Vere. But economics is no fun to talk about, so let's get some boba. Lilia's favorite human invention. I just had boba yesterday and I want more today because of this. Be sure to buy her a cup too, or she'll pout all week. I had no idea what this boba thing was, but the guys decided it was easier to show than tell. Are these little balls? Are they safe to eat? Why do they float around? God, I want boba. I was looking around at the other patrons at the shop who each had their own cup of similar looking drinks. Yes, they're totally edible and just as nice as the tea. Ah, I've never had tea that looks like this either. There was a colorful menu before me, with delightful pictures painted with all sorts of colors. I had never seen such a picturesque food illustrations before back in my lifetime. How the world has changed! Which one should I get? I think milk tea is always the safe option. My personal favorite is oolong. I like matcha. Kame enjoys brown sugar. He has the biggest sweet tooth amongst us. Really? Cute. Well, he seems to work a really hard job. They would need sugar, yeah. Oh, he doesn't look like he does. Right? More like the type of guy who would take his coffee black. Uh-huh. I believe you fit that stereotype more. I took a sip and sighed happily as the guys bantered with each other. It was a strange day, but one I had survived. Although I had met them only the day before, I couldn't help but feel like I had known them for much longer. With our cups of boba in hand, we were set to go back home. I was happily sipping a cup of milk tea when Kane brought his watch back out. Alright, so there's a button here under navigation that allows you to return home. All you need to do is press it and we'll return to the hallway like before. What happens if I lose it? I would come find you. He said this very proudly, and Valifar regarded the two of us with an exasperated glance. Please do not lose it. There are some functions, however, to help you not do that. If you are too far from your device or it is broken, a distress signal will be sent out. Someone will find you then, as you are our responsibility. It will likely be one of us. Try not to rely on that though. Losing one of these can be very dangerous. How so? You'll learn in time. I sighed. Yet another thing I'll find out later, I suppose. Now I want boba. Sad. The boba I had yesterday was so good. There was something that occurred to me upon our return back to stasis and away from the realm of humans. The realm of humans. I don't count amongst them anymore, do I? It was hard to accept that I was something other than a human now. It was my job to manage them now, which I still had yet to do. We didn't actually get any work done. Well, this excursion was more to test whether you would collapse from the culture shock. We came close with the billboard though. Oh, and the electronics store. Aries was grinning as he continued listing places that took me by surprise. His smile widened as I pouted at him. I can't help it. Even Sayer thought the giant tiger was going to leap at us from the board. It was so realistic. It is true. You cannot fault her for that one. I saw you flinch as well. It was cute how you thought there were little people trapped inside the boxes. But at least she did not think that it was sorcery and started swinging at it. Even my card can only handle so much. Criminal charges are a bit out of my domain. You'd leave Vera in jail? I'd break her out. As would I, but a wanted poster would make things difficult, would it now? Would it not? I am sure we could get Sayer to take care of that. Angel magic does have its uses.
Indeed it does. Although while I would cover for you, I advise you not to engage in criminal activities, Aina. At least not too often.
I will do my best. Back at the office, Lilia was waiting eagerly for her dessert.
Oh, you got me rose milk? Thanks!
Lilia gratefully took the cup of tea from me and went back to working on the square box-like thing in front of her. Geez, might as well inject that stuff directly into your veins. Do not give her any ideas she could actually act on. Lilia slurped with indignation but made no rebuttal. We left her behind and went towards the parking garage. Wanna go with Valafar? He got sulky about going alone last time.
Pardon me? When have I ever sulked?
It is subtle, Valafar, but you cannot entirely hide it. I will go with you as well. You can go with King and Aries. Eh? I'm stuck with the boring ones? You can walk, then. The exercise will do you well. Or I can go with the definitely not boring ones. While Kim and Aries teased Savon, Sayer and Valafar pulled me away. I did feel bad about leaving him behind, but oh well, he would be fine, I think. Wait, did they leave already? Don't you guys leave me too! We had gone to the parking garage, and Valafar had led us to his car. Have you sat in the front before? I shook my head. Sit in the front seat, beside me. I think you'll get a different view of the city. He opened the door for me and held my hand to help me inside. What a gentleman. Oh, it looks just like Kaim's car. Ouch. I got too excited while looking around and bumped my head. Careful, you did that yesterday as well. Did she? Your poor head won't like it if you continue pumping it. I am aware. I could see Valafar shake his head as he closed the door. In the next instant he was in his seat, the engine already on. These are all company cars, so they're all quite similar. Usually it's Kim or I who drive. The others can, but they are lazy. We all live in the same building. It is simply more efficient that way. So you say. I didn't have to look into the mirror to know Sayer was pouting in his seat. One thing that appears strange to me though, I figured it wouldn't hurt to ask. Hey Sayer, I want to ask you something. What is it, Frederick? If you are an angel, how come you live here? I hope that doesn't offend you. You don't need to answer. You may ask whatever you wish, and I shall answer best I can. His eyes softened, and he smiled with such tenderness that my heart skipped a beat.
You need not tiptoe around me, Aina.
Oh, is her name Aina? I wish they told me that so I can just name, myself Aina. To answer your question, well, I do have my own abode up in heaven, but stasis have far more entertainment to offer. Since my work aligns closely with that of the Reapers, it is often convenient for me to stay down here. and he does not have any friends in heaven. He teased the poor angel and was rewarded with a kick from the back. How unkind. I do too. Where do you think I get all the liquor from? Liquor? The liquor that the angels have are much better fare than anything we can source here or in the human world. Unfortunate, really. The others use me for their supply of alcohol. I am quite ill-treated, Fere. You do have your uses. Special liquor? Can I try some? Valafar cleared his throat and glanced at me before making a turn. Well, it can be quite strong, so you should take it slowly. I can handle it. Back then, I used to drink well into the night with Felix. It would usually end with myself passed out and either in his bed or mine. He would be draped over me or be flat on the ground. Very well. We usually drink at Kame's place or sometimes on the rooftop. The whole building is ours, so we have our own bar. That's a sick place to live in. Ooh, can I visit the rooftop today? Another time. We've had quite a day. It may be better to wind down at Kane's place. All of us were quite worried when you had gotten kidnapped. It wasn't kidnapped. Aries was truly about to murder Zafont for not activating the GPS on your phone. Had we not found you today, there may have been a body on our hands. I wasn't sure what the GPS was, but I felt that I should ask later rather than now. I wonder why. I do as well. While he is rather rude to you, Aries becomes terribly discomposed when it comes to you. Interesting? Ah, perhaps he likes her. I did not appreciate the tease and serious glance, but despite his expression, his voice relayed that he was quite serious. He has a terrible way of showing it then. If you like someone, you should be nice to them. Well said. After that, our conversation steered towards the various sights the city had to offer. Now that I was more used to what it was like being in a car, I could enjoy the views around me. Valafar and Singer took turns pointing out different places, and told me which ones they liked and which ones I might like. This city is so large. It houses many, many people. Reapers, some wandering angels like Sayre here, and humans. As we mentioned before, there are some humans who like being here instead of heaven, and those that are working their deaths here rather than in purgatory. I see. Do you like living in stasis, being a reaper, and as an angel? It isn't bad. Some days it is more difficult than others, although that is more due to my profession than my living circumstances. But I prefer it to living a human life. Does that mean you have lived as a human before? Yes, long ago. And then?
I think you can imagine how I got here.
He died. Valafar was meant to go to heaven and reincarnate. I processed his paperwork and all. That's a little unsettling to hear. Then, what happened? Valafar's fingers danced on the steering wheel for a few moments. He bit his lips as he searched for the right words. I did not wish to go back into such a cruel world. I asked what I could do to stay, and here I am. He's perhaps the first Reaper to ever volunteer for the job. And they let you? Well, we are always quite short-staffed. Denying me would deprive them of an extra set of hands. And I suppose I show my worth through my work. Haven't been reprimanded yet. We had arrived back home before I could prod further, which prompted a natural end to the conversation. Looks like we're here. I can't believe you guys left me with these two. believe me, it's not like we were dying to be in your company either. Welcome, Vere. I do believe it is your first time visiting one of us. I find myself quite flattered. Well, it is not like she really decided to do so herself. She's here to drink with us. I'm ready for the special angel liquor. Do be careful. Were you able to hold your alcohol well in your past life? Very well. Oria scoffed. I can too. Still, let's take it slow.
Don't worry so much. I got this.
Valafar turned to Sakame for support. I gave them both the best pleading expression I could manage. It's not like it can hurt you, although you will be very dizzy if you go overboard. I've heard that it's similar to what hangovers are like for humans. For an angel like Sayer, he simply gets sleepy and elated. That's me. I'm a very sleepy drunk. Sayer nodded happily while Kame poured out drinks for everyone. They came in different colors and hues. Both Kame and I had drinks with softer colors. His was in purple and mine was colored pink. I had a little umbrella in mine. It was quite cute. Oh, I didn't know you had those umbrellas. How come I didn't ever get any, Mr. Bartender? I didn't buy these for you. I bought these for Vere. Oh man. That is very sweet of you, Kate. I will cherish this tiny umbrella. As the fawn recovered from the slide, I settled down into the plush couch. This is nice. I've never had drinks with so many people before. Usually I would end the day with my family, or Felix, and he was the only drinking partner I ever had. Hearing the others' conversation was relaxing, and a smile crept onto my lips as I listened. So, how did you like your trip to the modern-day human world? The fun directed the conversation to me suddenly, and I wasn't sure what to say. I took a sip of my drink before answering. It was sweet, and took the edge off the alcoholic taste. It's overwhelming, but I think it has so many things to offer. I would like to see them all. So much has changed, but I do wonder if society has changed. What was it like in your time? Stefan? The typically serene Sayer murmured a warning to the redhead, but I didn't mind his question. Well, where I came from, the nobility ruled all. It's not a happy story. I laughed awkwardly and focused on sipping my drink. I didn't want to bring the mood down, so it seemed to be wiser to stay quiet.
If you wish to speak about it, do not hesitate.
Aww.
You are one of us now. Our ears are open to whatever your heart has to say.
What sweet boys. And we wish to know about you. Zafan sat down next to me and put his hand on my shoulder in a gesture of support. If you do not wish to speak, then do not feel pressured to. I nodded and looked at each of them in turn. They are all so kind of to me. I'm sure they know the subject matter will be heavy to hear, but even so, I took a few more sips to loosen my nerves. No, what the fuck is that? Noblesse oblige? Sorry. Yeah, right. They did just as they pleased and everyone bent to their will. My words held a bitter taste in my mouth, but I did not stop. When someone didn't, they would disappear mysteriously, but not before their reputations were tarnished beyond repair. So no one would care when they would die, or simply vanish. Better off that way, isn't it? No one complains when the trash has been removed, right? It was a dark sentence, and I could feel the discomfort in the atmosphere. At last, Valafar broke the silence. It is appalling. It is. Anyways, let us get back to drinking. I busied myself in my glass, but the conversation around me had yet to resume. I appreciated the opportunity and the company, truly, but I wanted to wither under the concerned stares directed at me. You should finish your thoughts, Vere. Do not let it fester in your heart. No matter how many years may have passed, the wounds in my heart had yet to heal. Even if the passage of time had allowed me to cope with them, to me, they were still fresh. I was one such thorn in their society. My best friend was someone who was well-desired and very distinguished. To this day, I wonder why he kept me in his company. That man who went on to destroy the world? I could understand what his tone meant to convey, but I ignored him nonetheless, regardless. Yes. He should have been married by then, or with someone of an equal stature. I was wasting his time instead of someone who was worthwhile, and who would have been his wife. I was always at his side, as his friend. It was no wonder that no one could grow close to him, when I had demanded so much of his time. You were not lovers? Came abandoned his drink and leaned forward, a strange glint in his eyes, or perhaps it was the shine of his spectacles. No, our relationship was nothing of that sort. And yet he tore up the entire country to avenge you. Did you turn him down?
He never indicated that kind of interest in me.
The men all glanced at each other, and then back at me.
It is too late now to do anything about it, of course. But perhaps you never noticed his affections.
Not that I would change the outcome in any way. I could perhaps see someone taking drastic measures for a friend, but an attempt to destroy the world, perhaps he loved you. He attempted to hide his smirk behind his glass, but he wasn't fooling me. Luckily, Aries saved me, and with a certain amount of sensitivity I did not ever expect from him.
Does it matter now? She clearly never noticed. You are such terrible gossips.
Forgive me for pride. Life gets monotonous after a few hundred years. As they bickered among one another, I found my thoughts getting more muddled by the minute. My God, what if he did love me? Everything would make sense. Would it? The casual caresses against my head, the way he twirled my hair, how he has fussed over me constantly and never left my side. She's dumb. How it was always me on his arm at every gathering. Girl. Goodness, I was an idiot. All the things that he had done for me. Such as? He was waiting for me to answer, as did the rest of the men. It's just, I suppose it's those gestures that could have been considered romantic. And even more than that, the way others perceived us. I sank my head into my hands. It was all my fault. I was stepping into a world that was beyond my reach. Romantic or otherwise, I should have stayed away. I didn't know my place. It was greedy, and my entire family paid the ultimate price for it. That's bullshit. He slammed his hand down hard on the table, and his drink spilled over. Aries? Kane coughed to cover up his surprise, and elegantly dabbed the corner of his mouth with a handkerchief, but Aries did not relent. You are not good enough to be with your friend? Do you really buy that? And that was the reason that whatever happened to you happened? I knew you were an idiot, but to this extent? Hey. Aries. Surprisingly, it was Valafar who rebuked him while Sayre stepped in between the two of them. I understand your feelings, but there is a kinder way to express them. You really need to be more tactful. Sorry. He looked appropriately abashed for once. I'm surprised at his outburst, but At least it stems from good intentions, right? It's okay. I didn't think you would feel so strongly. I do not like people thinking they are lower than anyone else. That's just stupid. But I should not have insulted you like that. I apologize. Look down at his feet, then at the mess in front of him. You better hope that does not stain, or else you will be owing me much more than an apology too. The grin on Kane's face forced me to recoil, and I wasn't even the one in danger. Aries, how come you are never sorry for all the things you call me? Is it because Vere is a girl? Wow, Aries. Ouch! Valafar had gone over and smacked them each on their heads. You two, get something to clean with before King's table is destroyed. If you continue to tease him, I fear something worse may happen. He added this under his breath and shook his head as the two troublemakers marched away to do as told. I went back to Kane, glass in hand in hopes for another drink. My umbrella lay sadly limp at the bottom, and I wished for it to rise again. May I have a refill, Kane? Did you enjoy it? Yes, it was good. I'm very happy to hear so. Are you still feeling steady? Quite so. Then I'll oblige your request, miss. He smiled at my confidence and topped up my drink again. My little umbrella was floating once more. The desire for another drink was partially because I wanted to forget the memories that had suddenly resurfaced. I did feel a tingle through my body, but I wanted to relax and not think about my past more strongly. While I am pleased that you are enjoying my concoctions, Valafar will have my hide if you get too drunk. I'll protect you from him. I shall hold you to that. While he was concerned with my alcohol intake, I decided to study his drinking habits instead. I noticed that his sips were slower and more sparse. Kane, do you never become inebriated? That is a good question. I drink more heavily when I am alone. And why is that? Because I am afraid of what I would admit when my tongue is loosened. Do you also have things that pain you? Don't we all? That is very human-like of you. King paused for a short while and stirred his drink in contemplation. Is it really?
To be human is to suffer, right?
Now that is quite a dark take. Is suffering simply not a part of life, no matter the kind of being?
Then what makes a Reaper different from a human?
The way you all approach things, human emotions are much different.
The pair returned with a few cleaning supplies, and in time to join our discussion. But if you also ache, laugh, and desire, then where lies the difference between humans and yourselves? The extent? Hi, DHL! The things humans do for their desires is something unthinkable for us. Is there nothing you would do anything for? They all went quiet after that. Have I just given some food for thought, or am I really good at clearing conversations? Well, with that in mind, I believe it is time to call it a night. Look at you, Vere. You're unsteady on your feet. Have I become anime finally? What do you mean? This is still an otome game. No, I'm not. I insisted, but my legs betrayed me once I tried to stand up for another refill. I am pleased to see you have enjoyed yourself. Sayer beamed brightly, his cheeks a happy flush. But damn, drunk just from 2 glasses? Strong alcohol. It is actually worth the work it takes to get the alcohol all the way down here. You're the best, Sayer. Alright, before Sayer melts, how about we all head back? Aries was meticulously cleaning Kane's table still, under the man's eagle-eyed glare. After you polish the table. Again. Are you done with the glasses, Stefan? Yes, my liege. The men were flitting about and cleaning everything. It was amazing. I had never seen such helpful guests before. Since Kane is kind enough to host us and make our drinks, we like to repay him by leaving the place as it was. Oh no, I haven't helped. It is your first time here. Do not worry. He patted me on the arm with a smile. You can help me dry the dishes next time, Vere. You are my guest. These others are all intruders. I shall remember this the next time you need someone to finish your paperwork. Except Valafar. The older man rolled his eyes and tossed a rag at Kane. In the end, Valafar and Sayer helped me back to my apartment. After making sure I was tucked safely into bed, they took their leave. And so ended another day in my new life. Damn, chapter 2 is long. Okay? Today, we do things my way. It was the next morning, and we were back at the office. Kim insisted that Aureus handled my training today. Despite trying to wriggle out of it, Aureus had no choice but to take up the mantle of my teacher. I too argued against having such an unwilling instructor, but both of us lost to the bespectacled man. How unfair. Yes, sir. My head hurts. I thought Reapers were immune to this type of thing. What in the world did angels put in their liquor? We'll spend a couple hours in training, then you can go have lunch with the others. After lunch, you'll go to hell. Excuse me? I thought you said I didn't have to go there. Is it because I went with those timeshare people? I won't do it again, I promise. He pinched the bridge of his nose and huffed angrily. Would you stop and listen? You aren't being sent to hell. But we deliver people to the gates, or well, the reception area. Do we get to go to heaven too? I imagine it would be far prettier than hell. No, they don't like it when our kind hang around for long. He was sounding a little evasive, and I couldn't help but think that he was hiding something. I suppose they don't like us hanging around hell either, but at least they're more direct about not liking us. In heaven, there is a persistent sentiment of holier than thou. It's annoying. See, I suppose being in the afterlife doesn't change human behavior. Aren't angels supposed to be free of ill intent, though? That's what makes it worse. They genuinely believe they are better than us. I sigh. I've dealt with enough snobbery while I was alive. Sayer isn't like that, at least. That's why we let him hang around us. Enough talk. Let's get you your weapon and start teaching you how to use it. But before that, he walked over to the vending machine and got me one of those cold coffees. This will help. Valafar did warn you about drinking too much. I didn't drink too much. But still, I took the opportunity to let myself smile when he looked away. Whatever positivity I had felt towards him earlier was quashed by anxiety. This room was so empty. Did he bring me here to kill me? I walked around in circles, and the taps of my footsteps echoed. Aureus had told me to wait here until he returned with my weapon, but it was boring. Where is he? I started to walk in circles, one foot in front of the other, just as he walked in. I wondered how training would go. Would I be fighting Aureus? I gripped the hilt of an imaginary sword and swung my invisible weapon before me.
Ha-ha! Take that! And that! Not so cocky now, are you?
I see you've been keeping yourself busy.
I could not look him in the eye. I was just taking a look around the place. Yes. The wide expanse of nothing, that is. He narrowed his eyes with disbelief, but for once had the courtesy to not offer a rebuttal. Right. Anyway, this is yours. This is a stick. Slash the air away from me, if you would be so kind. I looked at him skeptically, but who was I to refuse? Although I was tempted to wield my weapon towards him, I behaved and drew the stick through the air. And out came a chainsaw! That is pog. I like that. Ah! I got a little too excited, and the blade almost circled back towards me. With the flex of Aries' fingers, the blade stopped and dropped downwards.
Perhaps do not maim yourself?
You gave me no warning! I did not think you would be trashing it about a wild animal. Pardon me for attempting to have a little faith in you. Why, you told me to slash it! So I did. Anyway, best to put it into practical use. You said you were skilled in combat, correct? A little. Cool. This room can turn into any amount of environments. Let us see what we can work with. Walked over to some sort of panel, and I heard some beeps from where he was pressing into it. Faster than a blink, we were in what looked like a city, much like the one I had been to earlier. Okay, your job is to strike down targets. They'll have a red aura to them. Their aura? I'll be able to see it? Yes, your full powers will take time to realize themselves, but sight is something that comes to you automatically? Sight? Wherever you are, you will be able to see supernatural beings. Those with red auras are wandering spirits. This is a test simulation, so it has been artificially reproduced. How strong the auras will actually be to you in the real world will depend on your own innate ability. Lovely. Couldn't help but eke out a dry reply, considering I had absolutely no idea how my innate ability could even be. What if there was nothing there at all? With that, the first target came into view. So I just swing it like this. It was difficult to gauge my strength. While I was able to slice the apparition into two, the blade swung back towards my feet once more. Eek! Aura sighed and stayed my scythe once more. Do you want me to take it back from you? It's not my fault! I spoke through gritted teeth as I struck another target that was swooped down on me. I haven't had the chance to practice. I believe that trial by combat is the best practice. I think you need to change your beliefs! I ducked down mid-sentence to whack at yet another apparition. If I wasn't so absolutely irritated by him, I would be terrified at the prospect of actually having to do this one day. Funny to hear from you. Look, just copy me. He took out his own scythe, leaped into the air, and took out 3 apparitions at once. Show off?
I'm just teaching you. Learn faster, pupil.
Despite his tone, I knew what he was saying was true, and I tried to learn as fast as I could. Eventually I started to get the hang of it, when to draw my blade back, how much force to expel, and how to wield it. I'm a pro! Of course I was still a beginner, but Aries had to intervene a little less often. You're surviving, not the same thing. Your instincts are good, but you need better control of your weapon. I'm used to swords, not this chain thing. Can I have a sword? No, This is built with special properties, and we do not use swords. Damn. Do not hurt the ones with the blue aura. Ah! But it was too late. Congratulations, you just destroyed the soul of an innocent child. What? But I didn't mean it! You didn't warn me in advance! I was disheartened. This is not what a pro would do. Aries seemingly took pity on me and pressed a few buttons on the panel, which returned the room back to normal. You did well enough for today. I will let you off the hook for afternoon training just this once. I appreciate your benevolence. I should hope you can make it to at least 3rd place one day. Oh, you think I can't take the 1st? I would love to see you try. While I had hoped to persuade Aries about my potential to defeat him during lunch, he took his leave the second he had seen me off back at the office. Oh, at least he saw me off. That's sweet. Cute. Ah, Vere, how has training been going? I killed a child. Well, that happens. Has it happened to you? Probably. He turned away, shoulders shaking from obvious laughter. Go ahead, laugh. My apologies. He recovered rather elegantly and patted my shoulder with sympathy. If you aren't preoccupied, shall we have lunch together? Yes, please. Somewhere tasty, please. Kane chuckled, and I noted that his laughter was a lovely velvet rumble. I hope to not disappoint, madame. We went to the cafeteria downstairs, which to me was no different from an elegant restaurant. King ordered a couple of sandwiches for us, and we took our seats somewhere less busy. I had yet to get used to the stares of everyone passing by gave me, but King kindly blocked my view of others when he could. Is Aries going to roughen you? I let out a long exhale, and King chuckled. No. He laughed harder. I mean it, although I wish he would give me more instructions. It's been like a trial by fire. I see he is a fan of the tough love method. Tough love? Where was the love? We can have one of the others take over if you'd like. But that would mean surrendering. Does it matter? That's alright, I can keep up with him. I like to see that spirit. My limbs are still intact at least. I wasn't expecting this type of weapon. I was thinking I'd get a sword or something more pointy and less swingy. I made a jabbing gesture and poked my finger into his bottle of water. Ah yes, chain scythes are especially crafted for us. You must be careful with it, for it can hurt anyone. Reapers included. Wait, sorry. No, sorry. One sneeze per live stream, always. Should we be handling something so dangerous? We're the only ones that can. Consider it an occupational hazard. Seeing as you... Oh my god. Seeing as you are still in one piece, I think you'll do just fine. There was a beep from his pocket. He took out his device and glanced at me before reading the message on it. He was teasing me again, wasn't he? My sincere apologies. I asked you to lunch, but here I am having to leave early. I will see you later, Vere. Goodbye, Kane. Oh, I was meaning to ask him about hell. My bites turned into smaller nibbles as my appetite waned. Kane's sandwich remained to keep me company, sad and unfinished. Kane had sent Savant downstairs to save me from the awkwardness of being alone in a room full of people who were talking about me. He had seen me back off at the office, where Aries swiftly set us on our way to the next item on his schedule. You could ask how my lunch was. Why? I've had the food here. Perhaps as a form of courtesy? But you asked me how mine was. He had a point. How was your lunch? I didn't eat. Okay. Thankfully, Sarah passed by and brought that awkward conversation to an end. And then where are you two going? Hell. Good luck with that, especially you, Vere. I've never been to hell before, which is a very good thing in your case. Are we going through that door again? That's right. Look at you. You actually got a brain in there. Rude. So here we just say our location again. We can't control the time we go to, so... Wait, can you hold my hand? Although it wouldn't be my first time through this, my nerves still fluttered at the thought of traveling across dimensions and time once again. Even worse was the fact we would be going down below to hell. I was still afraid that he would change his mind and leave me there. For the love of... Never mind. He snatched my hand up. If you're going to ask, then commit to it, alright? Look at him blushing! I like him. He's ouchy. He snapped at me, but he couldn't look me in the eye either. Are you blushing? Do you want to go to hell alone? No! Then be quiet and don't make fun of the man that's taking you there. He then faced the door and as quickly as he could. Hell. I squeezed his hand back tightly, letting it anchor me as we traveled to a realm that would be far less friendlier than all the others we saw together. Although the breeze on my face was warm, his hand was even warmer. No, please, I'll do anything, please! I can change! Don't take me! Ah. From the distance, we saw a man getting scruffed by the collar and dragged into the lobby. What an introduction to hell. Don't tell me you were expecting sunshine and daisies. Well, no, but a few roses could liven up the place. I had an iron grip on Orius's hand, still, and my hand nails had dug in when I saw the man doomed to perpetual... well, doom. Alright, so we have to go over here. Usually this is where we process the fresh meat. Fresh meat. The figure that had gone into the lobby came into view, although bereft of one screaming soul. Kate, you have a stop here today? Yes, as it were. Why is she here? Gave Orius an accusatory stare, and then looked at our joined hands. Orius let go as if he had been burned, and I quickly tucked my own hand behind my back. Well, she has to bring her souls here eventually, doesn't she? You mean this isn't part of training? Then why is Orius subjecting me to this? Well, typically not on the first day. It is a part of my training. She's right. This really is a trial by fire. Almost literally. Literally, yeah, whatever. What? He said almost. You are not going near any fire. We wouldn't let that happen to you. Unless... He cleared his throat and pushed up his glasses, and I swore I could see his lenses flash a warning. You two can head back without me. I have to talk with Beals about an influx coming in soon. Party.
Quite the merry one.
Do all Reapers have such dark humor? While they shared a laugh, my stomach churned at the thought of more screaming souls like the last one, to be tossed away forever in agony. I suppose one becomes habituated over time. And I suppose they all deserved it, right? We were not planning on waiting for you, as it were. Aries' ill manner snapped me back to the conversation, and I spoke up in defense of Kane. I would have waited. Kane smiled at me appreciatively. But I am the boss today, so you get no say. What a tyrant. Ugh. In that case, abhorrent manners aside, I will see you two after work. Yes, I get to decide my after hours, right? Yes, because I am not actually a tyrant. Doubtful. As Kane was about to make his exit, I realized there was something I was still dying to know. Before you go, Kane, I want to ask, what happened to that man? He's fallen into the pit. The receptionist here will be sorting out his duration and punishment logistics in the meanwhile. Best you not worry too much. I really do hate to be abrupt, but there is some work I need to do. Good day, Bere. Hell is scary. It is indeed, isn't it? To see someone meet their fate right before my eyes was terrifying. Is this what my friend felt seeing me when I had been executed? I shuddered. Bit too much? Yeah. I think that is enough for today then. Don't I have to learn to do hellish things? Throwing people into pits, doing paperwork. Can't wait another day. I might get in trouble for overworking the new recruit. He rapped on my head in what I assumed would be the closest thing to an affectionate gesture I would receive from him. It did reassure me though. He was looking out for my well-being. It just happened to be in the most asshole way possible. I was used to being spoiled by Felix with all smiles and adoration. This just was a different way of friendship that I will have to get used to. Or so I assume. I might just be inventing this one-way friendship in my head. But that was neither here nor there right now. I was in the midst of my training and had to learn the ropes as quickly as I could. So, when can we go to heaven? It might be best if we do not go for the time being. Why not? They do not like you very much, so you are not allowed there. And the truth comes out. Why? That's not fair. Is it not? You're right. It was entirely fair. I was just upset about it. All things considered, I'd be lucky if I even saw the gates of heaven from a distance someday. You aren't missing much. Come on, around at Kames is better anyway. You know, you can be nice after all. He glared at me. Don't get too comfortable. I deflated after being rebuked, but stuck close to him all the same. The experience had worn me out more than I expected, and he was the only familiar face I had. On our way back, while I didn't need to hold his hand again, he held it out for me without a word. Looks like the others aren't ready yet. I suppose not. I brought my car today since I figured this might happen. I can drive you home. I wondered how much of this Aries had accounted for, and what made him still decide to go through with it. I couldn't tell if he was considerate or not. He seemed the type to charge ahead and try to patch up the consequences later. It's hard to keep up with him. You can rest up before we hang at Kames. Shouldn't I get some work done? No, let's get you home for now. Thank you. You know, you can be... Don't. There was just no use trying to be his friend. It was all one-sided after all. Never mind, you're just mean. Good, get it into your head. I can see why he did not drive often. He was like a monster behind the wheel. It was like they released a demon from hell in the form of Aries and unleashed him into this realm. Whatever fears had been alleviated swiftly returned as I dug my fingers deep into the seat. I did not realize that driving could be so loud. It was like he was unleashing whatever frustrations he had onto the road. You are a very rough driver. You want to try doing it yourself? No, thank you. As terrible as his driving was, I would rather take my chances with him. It is still better to learn, but I will not be your teacher. I should hope not. I think you would be yelling at me more than teaching me. I think I would actually cry. Because you would probably deserve it. A good teacher is patient. I never claimed to be a good teacher. I crossed my arms and decided that pursuing conversation with him was pointless. I was so irritated that I had forgotten. The scene in hell that I had witnessed. Was he riling me up on purpose to make me forget about it? This was the same man who had thrown me into a training simulation with a very pointy weapon and no instructions. He was just a very prickly man, wasn't he? I had been dropped off, as promised, and was now soaking in the tub. Sayer had shown me all the different types of bath products he had purchased for me, and I had fun combining the different scents. Although they were starting to make me sleepy. Just as I was about to drown in my own bathtub, I heard a knock at the door at the same time I heard my phone ping. You home? Coming! I scrambled to put on some clothes and scampered to the door, as droplets were left behind in my mad dash to greet my guest. It probably would have been better for me to tie back my hair so that it didn't soak my shirt, but I couldn't find anything to do that with. Hello? The guys were all at my door, even Aries, although he was at the back, like usual. They blinked at me, probably taking in my haphazard appearance. The fun was softly blushing. Oh my god, is this gonna be... what was going through his head? What are you guys doing here? Aries said you couldn't stop crying, so we decided we would just spend time here with you. They're so sweet. I was not crying! Aries! He looked back at me with a smug grin. I wanted nothing more than to smack his little smirk off his face. But given that this was not the best place for it... Oh, was he winding us up? Wow. Looks like you do care after all. I smiled back towards Aries with a sweet smile. Maybe teasing him back could be my method of revenge. I stepped aside so all the boys could file in, and my home suddenly became a lot warmer. They're the idiots who dragged me here. Whatever makes you feel better, Aries. No one likes the tsundere, Aries. I love tsunderes. What the fuck is that? So uncultured. We have brought you hot cocoa. I shall prepare some for all of us to share this evening. We've got some groceries too. And we're going to teach you to use your appliances this week. You haven't tried it yourself, right? Kane walked into the kitchen, inspecting the surroundings as he tapped his chin. Well, nothing appears to be broken, so... I'm offended that you think of me to be so reckless. I throw one watch and you paint me as a crazed, destructive woman. Unbelievable. Hey, I think that just makes you more fun to be around. The rest of these guys are boring stick in the muds. I find that I am very interesting. He looked around for affirmation, and all eyes darted away. Poor Sayer, I think you're cool. I gave him an encouraging nod out of pity, and he brightened up. To be fair, the concept of an angel was genuinely interesting to me. These men were too used to this strange world. I'll put on a movie for us. Sayer, go get some blankets. Vera, you don't mind if we stay in, right? No, not at all. I appreciate the company, even Aries. I'm flattered. Oh, I shipped them so much. He was dry as ever, yet we all still laughed. It was the start to a very cozy evening after a very long day. For the first time, or as far as I could recall, I felt lucky. Like I had finally found something that could be akin to family. Reapers are unattached. Kane had said that, but I could still dare to hope, right? Okay. This game has less voice acting than I expected, so I desperately need a break. So I will be continuing this game tomorrow. I think there's at least 4 chapters, maybe 5. I'll try to finish everything else tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me for Salvus Aries. I can't wait to see what's next. See you guys next time. Bye bye.